Now, I'm going to start obviously with the Olympics. It's been a year since the Olympics and the Paralympics concluded. Are you still as proud as you were a year ago?
Yeah, very proud. Proud of the achievement itself and proud of the teams that came together. You have to remember that three of us thought that this was a good idea about 10 or 12 years ago, and on the eve of the opening ceremony, you have 8,500 people in the organising committee. So very, very proud of them and proud of the people of length and breadth of the country that supported the ambitions, particularly at a time when, maybe some sections of the media thought it was a bit of a fool's errand.
Yeah, and in the build-up to the Olympics, I was reading that you were working 19-hour days. During the Olympics, obviously, you were working as well. When they finished, were you not tempted to, take a break?
Well, I took a holiday for 10 days, but then there were a couple of things that I did that I didn't see coming. One was the chairmanship of the British Olympic Association. My predecessor stepped down quite suddenly, really. I think he decided that he paid his dues in the years leading up to the Games, and I got asked to do that, and it felt right to take that on. I owe a massive debt of gratitude to the British Olympic Association for that part of my own career that they were centre stage. And then I agreed to do a legacy ambassador job, really, for the Prime Minister, which was just helping secure everything that we witnessed in the summer last year across government and in sort of four key areas. Clearly sport, but we wanted British business to benefit from the Games. We wanted the Games makers to go on inspiring volunteers, and we've had a 6% increase in volunteering in the last year. And of course the Paralympics had a profound effect on the way people, I think, in future will view disability in this country. So those were the four key areas that we worked on, and we made a good start.
When I was back up in Cheshire, I went into Sport Cheshire and had a chat with them, and they actually credit you for the increasing participation in sports in Cheshire. I'm sure other counties feel the same as well. Does this must give you a sense of pride?
That's why I went to Singapore to bid. I'm sure we all went for different reasons, but my vision was clear. I couldn't see anything in my lifetime that could change participation rates in sport as profoundly as an Olympic Games in our own backyard. So I'm unashamedly open about why I went to Singapore and why I bid. It was to get more kids playing sport, and in the last year that is the case, and I'm delighted when I hear from local communities and particularly local authorities that their facilities are being used more than ever before. I hear from local athletics and sports clubs generally that their participation and membership rates are up. And it's nice, when I walk about, in London or wherever I am, people come up to me and talk about their children having joined sports clubs off the back of the Games. So yes, that's why I felt so strongly about bidding for the Games.
There is the worry that, obviously talking about the Olympic legacy, that the further away we get from the Games, we lose more momentum. Is this something that worries you?
I think you have to be realistic about it. It's unlikely, given that for 7 years we all woke up to an Olympic story of one sort or another. The marketing was intense, the media coverage even more intense. It is inevitable that when you've had a Games, that clearly, although people will remember them fondly and will probably remember where they were at big moments, where Mo Farah and Jess Ennis and Chris Hoy, people like that, and David Weir won. But I think you're right. I think you have to be realistic that in 10 years' time, the impact on legacy is not maybe going to be as so immediate and so profound. But I do think over the next 10 years, we have a great advantage over a lot of countries because we don't have to keep looking back to the Games. We've got some of the best sport in the world coming to the UK. We've got the World Athletics Championships. We've got cricket World Cups at pretty much every code. We've got rugby union, rugby league World Cups. We've got swimming championships, hockey championships. I mean, there's an amazing array of sport coming to this country in the next 10 years. And I think every one of those sporting events can have the impact that the Olympic Games had in encouraging more kids into sport.
And finally, you've recently launched the Seb Coe Charitable Foundation. Can you explain your role in this and what is it exactly?
Yeah, I had a small foundation, but it was a very personal thing. It was funded, frankly, through me and a few close friends, and we very discreetly on occasion funded people, particularly in sport, you know, in a very modest way, to go away, maybe a bit of warm weather training, maybe some medical support, you know, to get them back to fitness again. And now I've got the time to focus a little bit more on the scope of that foundation. And I've always felt very strongly about the work that needs to be done in trying to link various diseases. You know, if you look at great breakthroughs in science, they tend to have occurred because people have been innately curious about work in other areas. And the Crick Foundation, which is really a foundation dedicated to that concept, that, you know, it's going to look at viruses, it's going to look at cancers, it's going to look at cardiopulmonary disease, it's going to look at neurological disease, but all under the same roof. Different sets of scientists, different sets of specialists, all working in their field, but in a way cross-pollinating their ideas. And I decided that if we really beefed up the foundation, that I'd like to set a target of £2 million to raise for the foundation towards the work of the Crick Institute, the foundation itself, which is in King's Cross, a wonderful building that's under construction. So that's really what I've dedicated the next few years to.
Okay, thank you, Seb. Thanks for your time.
Pleasure.